Hey guys, it's Matt from DNR Auto. Today we've got another video in the Back to Basics video series. Today we're going to be showing you how to change the oil at a 2008 Dodge Ram 1500 with the 5.7 liter Hemi engine. I've got it kind of set up right now. I'm going to go over that in a few minutes. Now I could turn around and do this on the lift, but for the Back to Basics video series I'm going to be doing my best to replicate the conditions of what somebody at home may be doing in their home garage or in their driveway. So right now we've got it pulled up on these ramps, which I'm going to show you guys, and we're going to start getting through it. So I highly recommend that if you're going to be doing a bunch of oil changes or anything else, you go ahead and get yourself a set of these ramps from the local parts store. Not a bad deal. You're going to want to also make sure you have the parking brake on. Let me take the key out. Make sure you got the parking brake on. When you do this, you may also want to chalk the rear tire. One of the first things I like to do when changing oil is go ahead and pop the hood. Because I know I'm going to be draining the oil out, I figure I'd give it a little bit of extra help. And we're going to go ahead and find the oil fill cap, which happens to be here, which I can't reach while videoing. But I'm just going to tell you guys, well, climbed up, now I can. Go ahead, first step is going to be remove that oil fill cap right there. So now we've got it jacked up and good to go. Got a few basic things here. Socket wrench. I recommend using a socket wrench with a longer handle because that drain plug is going to be on there tight. Got the oil catch can there, and I've got a creeper. Now I don't know what size socket the drain plug is yet, so let's go under there and figure it out. So we're gonna roll up under this bad boy here, and we will identify our oil pan, which is here, and our drain plug, which obviously I got the wrong size. It looks like this one's gonna be a 13, so let me go ahead and grab one of those. All right, so now that I've got the right size socket, I've got it on the wrench, we're gonna break this loose. Now, the only thing you're gonna need the socket wrench for is the initial breaking it loose and the final tightening. Now that I've got my drain pan set up here, I'm going to show you guys why I say you only need the socket wrench for the initial breaking free. Because what's going to happen is when you pull this bad boy out, go ahead and keep force against it, unscrew it to where you think you're all the way, and then try to do this without getting super dirty is the key here. Bam, right in the drain plug or into the drain pan, and not a super large mess. So now we're just gonna sit and let this drain out fully. All right, now that the oil is all drained out, we're gonna get back up under here and go ahead and reinstall the drain plug. Now the reason I'm doing it this way is I will show you guys to keep from making a huge mess. We're gonna go ahead and put that to the on position. Make sure this is tight but not too crazy. And I'm gonna take a can of trusty brake clean here and clean off all that oil. It's there. Now I've done that. And by keeping the drain pan there, I'm not going to have the continuous oil drips when I move on to the oil filter. So now the oil filter, if we look towards the front of the pan, there's the oil filter there. So let's go ahead and see if we can't get a tool to go ahead and get that removed. All right, now we've got just our pretty standard oil filter wrench here. Make sure you're on it the right way so you can loosen. And these things are going to be tight. So what's going to happen is as soon as you start loosening this oil filter, it's going to get to a point, and make sure your drain pan is ready, because it's going to start leaking some oil down the side of it most likely. Let's see, yep, see, there it is. So usually I like to just go ahead and let that sit there for a moment, drain out as much as it's going to before I pull it all the way off. Alright, I think that's dripped about as much as it's going to drip. This is probably still going to be a little messy, but It is what it is. I would recommend wearing gloves. I usually do. This moment I'm not. You're gonna unscrew it all the way. Make sure you hold it right side up because there will still be a bunch of oil in there. Now before you go ahead and reinstall the new oil filter, what you're gonna wanna do, take your brand new oil, put a little bit on your finger, and on the rubber seal here, and a little bit on the threads. You're gonna wanna go ahead and just take a little bit of that oil, rub it on there. It's gonna make for a nice, easy installation. All right, now we're back under the truck. We got a new oil filter here. You can see there's the oil filter housing where we're going with it. You're gonna want to head and line that up and make sure you got it. You'll know pretty quickly if you got the threads right or wrong, because it'll feel pretty good and easy going on. See, just like that. Now it's starting to get tight. One thing that I don't do is I don't tighten these down with an oil filter wrench. You just don't need to. They don't need to be the world's tightest thing on here, because what's gonna happen is, as it heats up, it's gonna expand a little bit as well. So, just by hand, I get it real nice and tight by hand, and there we go. Now we've got the new oil filter installed. I'm gonna go ahead and take this brake clean and clean up around that housing area and anywhere else we may have gotten some oil, so we're not leaking that all into the driveway and everything else. Got the drain pan still down there, so we're good to go. All right, now that we've got the filter installed, we come back to the top side where the oil fill is. We've previously removed that cap, and this 5.7 liter Hemi goes ahead and takes 6.6 quarts of oil. So we're gonna fill it up with 6.6 quarts of oil. As you're pouring your first quart of oil in, it's important to listen. Make sure you got everything tight, make sure you didn't forget anything. Make sure it doesn't sound like there's any oil hitting the ground. All right, now that we've got our 6.6 quarts of oil in there, we can go ahead, replace the cap, go ahead and start it up, leak check it, notate your mileage, change your window sticker, do whatever you gotta do, and you are all done. And just keep in mind, if you guys want more of these Back to Basics video series, click like, click the subscribe button down below. We'll hook you up, and we're gonna keep working on this so that way we can bring a whole wealth of automotive knowledge back to the community where it belongs. Thanks.